Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of our podcast today. It is a real pleasure. I got Natalie, and as I told her before, I am not going to try to say her last name. I don't want to make her mad at me for butchering it, so I'll let you say it.
Hi, everyone. I'm Natalie. My surname is Eleftheriou. You have to try and pronounce it, Dak.
I even just heard you say it, and I'm still not sure how to say it.
Okay. I'm going to say it slower. Eleftheriou.
Eleftheriou?
Eleftheriou. It's F and F together, TH. Eleftheriou.
Eleftheriou.
Close.
Okay,
almost there. You need to practice.
I will actually try that. Eventually, one time I'll have you back and I'll make it.
It's cool, everyone. Like, I'm used to it. It's fine.
Yeah, I probably have the same thing with, mine. But anyway, there's been several people who have come on here and I have no idea. Even Ramon, when I first talked to him, I was like, okay, is it Ramon, Raymond? How, he's like, just whatever. Like, dude, no, I want to say it the correct way. And he's like, whatever you say, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, it was the right one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, so it's what it is. I'm really glad you decided to come on here and take part in this silliness. I really want to, get FoodTribers in and have a way to get to know them better. And feel like we know them more. Get out of the comment sections, and as I've always said, just be able to put a face, a bit of personality to the little icon you see all the time. So I appreciate you coming on, and hopefully you have fun doing it. So
thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me.
Cool. If you would you want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself and where you're from, stuff like that?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Nat. I'm from Cyprus originally. I have an Indian and African background from my mom's side. Yes, now I live in Berlin. And I like to cook. And a few years ago, I went plant-based. So this changed my whole way of cooking and thinking about food. And yeah, I have to rethink, and I had to learn again how to cook, basically.
Yeah, that would be complicated because you would literally have to change everything. What made you make the change?
So before moving to Berlin, I was in the UK, and there I met some vegan people, and I was like curious to find out more about veganism. So I was curious about what they're eating, why they're doing it. So I was curious to learn more. And at one point I watched Oksha. Is a movie on Netflix. It's pronounced AKJA. OKJA, Oksha. So when I watched that, I felt like whenever I eat meat, I eat my dogs. I have 2 dogs. It was so weird. It was so weird. So I didn't go vegan at that point, but like my way of thinking, like it was like something flipped there in my mind. So after that, I was watching a lot of documentaries on Netflix about vegan diet and all this. There are plenty on Netflix. So every day after work, I was watching a documentary. I was going crazy with them, and I was crying a lot. It was It's a bit weird to see what's happening behind the food industry, behind the dairy and the meat industry, like things I didn't know. And it shocked me a lot, actually, not a bit. And my husband one day, he was like, "Okay, shall we go vegan?" And I was like, "Yes!" Because I wasn't daring to say it. We were heavy meat eaters, like really heavy meat eaters. Like we would have meat we wouldn't have a meal without meat or dairy.
Mm-hmm.
I never had a vegetarian meal before going vegan. So this is how we grew up. This is like our diet. So we didn't know anything else. So I was happy that he said it, and I was like, yes, okay, let's try it. So this was it. Like we stopped buying meat and dairy from the supermarket, and it was like for the next another maybe 2 weeks to finish what we had in the fridge and the freezer. But I stopped eating meat. He was still eating it to finish what we had. And then, yes, I started experimenting. It was like all cooking and tasting and, yeah, looking for recipes online. And, yeah, this is how it all
Okay.
started.
Okay. So, did he fully convert over too?
Yes. We were together maybe for 6 months or so.
Okay.
Then he stopped. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember. I know there's a few people on, or couples, I should say, on FoodTribe, where one is vegan and the other's not so much, or something like that. And I know, first of all, that would have to be hard. And I honestly couldn't remember if he, was a full vegan like you, or still partially.
Yeah, I think if he wouldn't do it at the beginning with me, maybe it would have been harder for me to stick, or or it would have been harder for me to cook for him in the beginning while I wouldn't eat it. I don't know. It was helpful anyway that both of us did it because like we started in August, and
Hmm.
after 2 or 3 weeks we went back to Cyprus for holidays, and like this was the hardest part because first of all our families didn't get it. It was like, what, you don't eat meat or cheese? What? And we didn't eat halloumi, which is Cypriot cheese. I told you about it. We didn't eat
Hmm.
anything. Like my dad waits me to go home and make a special barbecue for me. He's like, oh, come on, when are you gonna come home? I'm gonna make a barbecue. Like that's the only thing he cooks, and he's like very proud of it. And I'm like, this is not happening this time. I'm not gonna eat. And he wouldn't believe it. It was like, yeah.
Wow.
Yes. So, and everyone were pushing us to eat like meat because they were thinking we weren't eating enough, or what we're gonna eat if we're not eating meat or fish. So
Right.
this was the hardest part because we went there and we weren't um, we weren't fully 100% there yet. We were at the
Hmm.
stage of trying it, and we had to also hold back from them pushing us. So, but we passed through this whole phase, and yeah, we even like we had a wedding in Greece, and it was in a
Hmm.
small village at this period. So we went there, and in this small village is famous for their meat and a specific type of cheese.
Okay.
So we were trying to eat at restaurants because we stayed there for a few days, and we were going from one restaurant to the other one, and we were trying to find somewhere to eat. And the guys were calling each other like, "Well, they don't eat meat. Do you have anything for them?" So finally, we found one only restaurant, and we ended up eating all the days there.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I think me and your dad would probably get along, man.
Oh yes.
He sounds like it. Because I know, like, even when you told me, I am sorry, I don't forgot the name of the holiday. Was it in Greece where it was the big barbecue and everybody's grilling out? And I'm like, that is exactly what I would love.
Yeah.
So that makes
Is
sense.
Yeah, it's called Cygnopempti and is around March or April, and is before the fasting Easter period, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am happy that I at least said Hulami right, because I was even questioning if I was saying that one correctly. So you just started this in August then of what, last
In
year?
August in 2017. No, 2017.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, okay, 2017. Oh, okay. I thought you meant literally last year, and I thought, well, no,
No,
wait a
no, no,
minute.
no.
Okay, so okay. I thought, wow, you really did just start this then. So,
No.
okay. So, what was the hardest thing to give up?
I think the hardest part it's like food memories. It's not. Lots of people say it's cheese or it's meat. Like for me, it's a specific food, let's say, or like yeah, I like to have sandwich with halloumi and cucumber, and like I haven't found vegan halloumi. Like this is it's top in my head. So yeah, so I think it's mostly food memories that I miss this food and I wish I could eat it. But yeah, I'm trying though to veganize things, and in the beginning, like I would miss a spinach pie with cheese in it. So it happened that when we traveled to Cyprus, I would have a spinach pie, and then I was like, it was 2 seconds of like fulfillment. I don't know, happiness, joy. I don't know. But then I was feeling guilty. I wasn't feeling So I wouldn't. I wasn't doing it again. I didn't do it again.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I was just wondering. I didn't know if there was any one thing that, because that's what the debate always seems to go around. I know, when people say, well, what would you miss the most if, give it up? And I thought, I guess you're right. Look back on food memories. I never thought of it in that regard, as opposed to specific food products or, types of food. Especially since one of my strongest food memories is, of my grandma and porcupine meatballs. And to think that, you couldn't relive that. I know you could probably recreate it in a vegan way, because I am shocked at times when, I think, oh no. And then I see your pictures and stuff, and I thought, I'd eat that. You do make things look really appealing and very good. So
thank you.
And I love seeing your creativeness and how you try to, recreate one. There was one you made a while back, and it was, in fact, I said I would like to try it, and it's honestly just gotten lost in the shuffle. It was something made with chicken that your grandma, I believe it was.
Actually, this is my favorite food that my grandma cooks. Like, this is my all-time favorite food is chicken with peanut butter sauce. I don't know. I think you're referring to this. Yes.
Yes.
So, like, if you ever ask me what is my favorite food, this was my favorite food. And whenever I was trying to do it with chicken, it wouldn't be the same as my grandma, obviously. Like, never. Yes. So when I went vegan, like, this was one of the foods I was thinking, I'm gonna miss a lot, like, because I actually really like it. So I tried several versions of it to, like, okay, what can I remove? I need to remove the chicken and put something else, because basically it's the sauce. The whole thing is the sauce. This peanut sauce. So yeah, I like it with sweet potatoes and chickpeas.
Well, I'm glad you got to, because that would be a thing, is trying to recreate something that, of course, you're not using the original, ingredient. I guess you could say, like, trying to find a replacement for chicken that's still going to have that texture, flavor. That's really good. I do actually still want to try that, not probably use the chicken version, but that did sound really good when I was reading it. And I thought I love peanut butter, anything related to that. And I thought, man, that does sound really good. So, yep, that's the one. That's the one.
I actually haven't had peanut butter in anything else besides this food until the last years when I went vegan and I started eating more peanut butter and trying it in other recipes like porridge and
other than like sweets and stuff, the first thing I ever had made with peanuts and peanut butter was a peanut saute pork, and somebody's going to kill me for having the wrong region, because I can't remember if it's Southeast Asian or Chinese. But it's made with peanuts and peanut butter, and it's with pork, and man, that stuff was good, and I was hooked. I was like, I was young and dumb back then. I was like, the only thing you make out of peanut butter is like brownies, no-bake cookies, and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. That's cooking with peanut butter and jelly.
I actually never had peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Are you? Oh, wow.
It sounds strange to me, I don't know.
Oh, that I could not imagine going through life and never having a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's
an American thing, though, right? It's not. I think it's an American thing.
It could
I don't
be.
know.
I don't know either.
I don't think it's European anyway.
It might not be. But you know what? I'm still amazed when I find people who have they'll tell me, I've never had macaroni and cheese before. How do you not have macaroni and cheese? It's, maybe these are just American things, and you well, grow up in America and you just take it for granted that, it's just worldwide, or, honestly, I always say that no true food is truly American, because we are such a melting pot of cultures and different, people from all over the world, that we may have changed some foods here and there, maybe due to availability of ingredients. People just had to adapt what they were eating, where they came from, to here. But, is anything truly American? I kind of say no, not really, because it's all derived from someplace else, one way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So who knows? But never had a peanut butter and jelly. That is something. There you go. There's your challenge. There's your challenge.
I could try that. It sounds weird in my head, but yeah. I could try it.
It's
not as weird as watermelon and with mustard.
Well, I ain't gonna lie. That was, as I said before, when I first seen the video on YouTube of Emmy Maid done it, I thought, why in the world would you ever do that combination? That's just, I didn't think disgusting, but I was like, why? That was my biggest thing to get by. And then when Jane posted it, I sitting there and thought, well, I'm always willing to try something. I think, life's short, try different things. And if worst thing is you don't like it, and I bought a watermelon and I thought, I'm actually going to do this. And then it hit me. I was like, oh no. As I was cutting up the watermelon, I sit there and thought, I can't believe I'm doing this. And then all I could think of is, well, I had John Coleman in my head going, how much do you love FoodTribe, Doug? And it's like, I
do it for the tribe.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And it's like, I'm taking one for the team.
So. You didn't take only one, my friend. You were eating it again and again and again. It was non-stop.
Well, I done the first one. When I done the very first piece of watermelon with the French's mustard, I think I just had to get it out of my head that this ain't right, because my brain just kept telling me, why are you doing this? So I done the second piece just to see, is it that bad? And then it hit me. I was like, it's weird, because you got to get past that mental part of it. It's weird, but it's not. And then I was like, okay. And then I moved on down the line. The honey mustard, of course, was actually doable. I actually enjoyed that one. As you've seen, I sit there and ate quite a bit of that. But when I went back and tried the French's after having the sweeter mustard, it seemed wrong. And I'm like, ooh, that's sharp, and then it was like, okay, I'm done with that one. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think, always try stuff. And I'm not trying crickets, though. I don't care what John Coleman. I'm not eating cricket. Not eating cricket. Okay. Back to the your journey here. I do want to ask it. So was it because of animals, or everybody has their reasons for going vegan? I know Janine has it, but she said that she grew up on a farm and she couldn't process an animal and stuff like farms do. And she said she always thought that if she couldn't, go through the process of putting the animal down, processing it, and getting it to table ready, that she shouldn't be eating it. I've heard, then we got like Ramon on the opposite end, who he had to give it up for health reasons. It was either, give it up or die. And, I've heard, then I have the people, it's like, well, we got to save the environment. It seems like everybody has a different reason. So what was yours exactly?
Yeah, for me it was the animals. As I said before, when I watched this movie, I was like, I was shocked, because I actually felt that I'm eating my dogs, and I was feeling so bad, really. Yes. So for me, it's mostly the animals. But then when you start learning more about it, there are more reasons. Like, obviously, I care about my health as well, but if it was only for my health, I don't think I would have done it.
Right.
Yeah, yes, I've never done a diet before, and in the beginning, in my head, it was like a diet, and I was thinking, oh my God, I'm definitely going to give up eventually, blah blah. But it wasn't a diet for me. It was something else. It was thinking about the animals. Whenever I was thinking, okay, I want to eat a burger or I want to eat meat, or yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the once you start reading more about it, the environmental aspects of it as well are really big. So yeah.
Okay. I like I said, everybody does it for their own reason. I give respect to anybody who does it. I don't think I could. I don't think I could.
I was like that in the beginning as well. I was thinking it's not going to work, but in my opinion, I was thinking that it's not going to work because, as I told you, I was eating meat in every meal. Like, I never had a vegetarian meal before. I wouldn't even check the vegetarian option at a restaurant. A meal wasn't worth me giving my money if it wouldn't have fish or meat. This is how stubborn I was. This is how, I wouldn't say stubborn, but this is how I grew up. This is the mentality I had. So, yeah, if I can do it, I think everyone can. But I think each one should make their own mind of it. Like, it's a really hard thing, especially if you're used to eating meat and dairy for such a long time. To give it up, it's really hard. So you have to have your own reasons for doing it so that they hold you there. Otherwise, you will give up.
Yeah. I probably would. I probably make it a whole couple of days and then that would be it. Well, and I think I'm getting ready to turn 47 and it's just been a lifestyle for me. I grew up, everybody was meat eaters, much like what you described, but not only were we meat eaters, I come from a family of hunters, farm-based people who process their own food. It was very common. Well, I had this discussion with, who was it I had it with? It was Leela or somebody. And it was, that's just how we were raised. You separated it. I love my animals. I do. I have a weak spot. If I see a stray cat or even dogs, I'm always like, oh, take you home, and I love my animals. I don't even get along with birds. If you've seen that vlog, I explained it. I don't get along with birds at all. But I still try to rescue them. I would go out, and if I found a wounded one, I had bird cages I had gotten from a friend of mine, and I would put them in there and make little splints for their wings and their leg. I truly do love animals, but I guess I was always, you was able to separate it. What was food and what was animals, So for me, there's just so much there that's ingrained. That's, I think, what would be hard to give up, So that would be hard. But I get everybody's reasons, and that's cool. And if you don't mind on that, that is one thing I have really enjoyed with you. And I know I always make jokes that I'm shocked that, we get along as well as we do. But one thing about you that I really do like is the fact that you aren't really pushy with it. And I have run across several vegans and, well, even just vegetarians who are extremely pushy and very self-righteous maybe about it. And it's this holier than thou attitude. And people like me are, well, bottom feeders or something. It's like, we need to get rid of you people. And you are so not that. You do have that, well, live your life, do your thing. And that's why I was kind of worried at first. And I know I've made, like I said, many references to, I'm shocked we get along as well as we do. But you're not that way. And I do think that's what causes maybe some issues between, vegans and meat eaters, because well, both sides have it. Both sides can be very pushy one way or the other. I admit to that. There's meat eaters out there that are rather, well, rude and inconsiderate with their views as well. And I think that's where the clash comes. So, and I can't lie. I was on guard a little bit first few times I talked to you, and I'm like, oh, here it comes, and it never happened. And I am so happy for that because you are such a great person. I love just commenting with you and stuff like that. It's always so much fun. So
Thank you. So in the beginning, when I started learning so much about veganism and about what's happening behind the food industry, like the dairy industry and all that, I was so shocked that I wanted to tell everyone. Like I was angry, and I wanted everyone to go vegan. I wanted to, it was a really hard time in the beginning. To process all this information, and I was like, why do we do this? And yes, it was really hard, and I wouldn't say I was pushy, but yes, when I went to Cyprus, let's say, and my parents were pushing me to eat meat, I was trying to tell them that no, they shouldn't eat meat, and all of these reasons, I was trying to convert them to vegans. But of course they didn't change. But yes, and obviously this doesn't work. Like everyone would do whatever they want. If you push someone, they would go the other way, most probably. And so I told you before that I believe that it's a personal choice, and it's a hard one as well. So you need to make it up, to decide it yourself. And I like to cook. I like to share my food. If I have friends over, I will be happy to cook for them. And if they try my food and they like it, that's fine. If they don't, that's fine again. But I'm not going to tell you what to eat and what to do in your personal life, as I'm not expecting you to tell me what to do with my personal life.
That's a great attitude. And that's how I try to do things is, hey, you do you, I do me, and we should get along, and that, I think that's what, really does help. I do agree with you that the animal farms, different things, processing could go through serious revamping. I do think that, how these animals are treated can be very bad. I think I don't always agree with everything, I don't. Looking back, well, we had a discussion even about just environmental part, and me and Zara, and we was discussing, I said, this planet is littered. It does have a lot of trash that we shouldn't be putting on it. I think we could always change and make things better. And I would definitely, be to support that, because I think we could do things differently and a whole lot better than what we are now. I think we're making slowly making steps, but it could go quicker, I believe. So
even if you change one of your meals per day, one meal a week, this makes a change. Like if all of us would change one meal per week to be a vegan meal or a vegetarian meal, this would make a big impact. But that's the thing, like people need to want to try something else, need to want to do it, and because at the end of the day, that's the smallest and easiest change that you can do. Because you go for shopping, you just buy, like it's just one meal, and if you don't like it, you won't. Yes, it's not that big of a deal. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, it's just one meal, and if you buy things that you know that you like, then you're gonna like it. But don't expect to eat a vegan meal and it's gonna taste like steak or
Right. Well, see, I only eat once a day, so sometimes my meals are basically vegan, because one of my childhood favorites I grew up eating, and I still enjoy it to, this day, is simple macaroni and tomato juice. It's literally just macaroni and tomato juice with a touch of sugar and a peanut butter sandwich. It's fantastic. So, okay, but okay, my reference is going to be the vegan burger I tried to make a ways back. That's where it's going to go wrong.
I'm trying to remember which. Did you buy a processed one? Yes, it was a process. Did you remember?
Yeah,
Do you remember the brand? I can't remember.
I think it was the Impossible.
Okay.
Or yeah, I think it's the Impossible one. Honestly, I'd have to go back and look now. That's been a while ago. And some of it's just, I'm sure it's mental to get past, because even like the bacon was weird. I know,
Yes,
well, it wasn't bacon.
Yes, the thing with processed meats, like fake meats, is that when I went vegan at the beginning, I didn't know about all this fake cheese, fake meat. I didn't know anything. So my cooking was curries and different things, but not fake cheese or meat. And then when I discovered them, I was like, okay, let's try it. I can eat sandwiches again, because I used to take at lunch for work, a sandwich, a ham and cheese sandwich. So this one was one of my problems. I didn't know what to take to work anymore. Anyway, so when I found them out, like I first tried the vegan cheese slices, disgusting. They were like plastic. No, literally, because the cheese, it was still in my head, like what I used to, the normal cheese. So after 6 months of being vegan and trying the vegan cheese, it felt like it's in plastic, and I didn't like it at all. Same with vegan ham. But then I kept trying different things. I was open to trying different things, and I tried different, like my favorite meal is burgers. Like I love beef burgers. I used to love beef burgers. So this was one problem. So I was trying the vegan beef substitute, and I tried so many brands, like everything disgusting, really, really, really bad. Until I tried the Beyond Burger, and this is my favorite. I like it. My husband also likes it. But I have friends that tried it, and they say it's good, but you feel that this process that is fake. I have another friend in Cyprus who was fasting, and he tried it and he loved it. Yeah. I haven't had meat in such a long time though, so that's another factor as well.
That's it. When actually now I'm thinking I might have been Beyond. Because if I remember, well, yeah, I want to say actually it might have been the Beyond Meat. Yeah, to me, well, burgers are kind of my thing. As soon as I bit into it, flavor, texture, everything was wrong, and I'm like, that ain't right, and I'm willing to forego some things and be like, okay, well, it's a compromise. It's what it is. But then it was like, okay, that's too much of a compromise.
That's the thing. You don't take your favorite thing in the world and try to change it. This is, yes, it wouldn't work. Obviously, it wouldn't work. Yes, you have to find something else that it's not gonna be so fake, but like real foods. And yeah, give it a go. Because if you like beans, like make a bean stew, or if you like curries, I'm not gonna say chickpeas. I don't know if you like chickpeas. Lentil curry.
I'm not John Coleman anyway. Chickpeas. Now I've had them. I haven't had a lot of them. I don't mind them. I've never not ate them anyway. Lentils is probably the one I've had the least out of the group. I really honestly don't remember eating much lentils.
Yeah, I grew up eating lentils. It was a staple. Like, it's one of the recipes that I make all the time. And actually, I didn't like them back then. As a kid, I was a really picky eater. There is onions in this recipe, so I would remove one piece by piece the onions. Yeah, it was ridiculous. Yeah.
I was never, my mom got lucky with me. Well, my mom and dad, I guess, but my mom, since she was the main cook, I was never picky. I was willing to try anything and everything. And I still am that way. I now, of course, over all the years, I kind of know what I do and don't like, but I'm still obviously adventurous, the watermelon and mustard, and not afraid to try things. My big hang-ups are I don't like olives. Olives are just, oh, I can't do it.
You know what?
Nope.
I was so shocked when I was in the UK and I spoke to people and either some of them never had olives before or some of them don't like them. I was like, what? And you don't
No,
like
there
chocolate
is.
either, right?
Well, I won't say I dislike it. I actually, my deal with chocolate was I gave it up for health reasons.
Oh,
When I was
okay.
a teenager, I I had problems with dehydration and stuff, and I found out then that caffeine is a thing that it's a diuretic. It flushes your system, and I was, of course, back then I drank sodas, pops, whatever you call it. Back then, my diet was everything and anything. And the doctor said, well, you have to start cutting stuff out. You need to get rid of this caffeine. And that's, and I was 15, 15. And first thing I thought of was, well, I already cut out, soda and pop. I'd done that about 6 months before the chocolate. And that was fine. I had cravings for it, but it was fine. I done it. And he said, it's not enough. You got to find something else. Well, I love chocolate. I did. If I went to the store, I was walking out with a chocolate bar. If I was eating ice cream, it was chocolate ice cream with like chocolate syrup on it. I love chocolate. I would eat a whole bag of them, like Hershey Kisses. I don't know if you know them, but I loved it. And I thought, well, okay. So actually I gave up pop and soda, whatever, willingly. I kind of give up chocolate unwillingly, but I did it. And now of course, it's been so long, I don't miss it. There is times where I'll see people post certain things and it's like, oh, I want that, but I've went so long now, I just don't care anymore. The only thing I have grown to, I have found I don't like the smell of chocolate cookie. That's disturbing. It smells like burnt dirt. It's not pleasant. I don't
What
like
kind of
it.
chocolate cookies have
I
you been
don't know.
smelling? This is
I
weird.
don't know. It's just, it don't smell right. I can smell, like, even if we go to the grocery store and you go into the bakery section and they have all the chocolate cakes and all this, it's such a strong smell to me. And I don't like that.
I don't like it.
We were on vacation with some friends in Pennsylvania, and they so were excited to take us to Hershey, Pennsylvania, which is where the Hershey chocolate factory is, and do a tour of the chocolate factory. And I thought, that's the last place on earth I want to go. First of all, I don't eat chocolate, and the smell of chocolate cooking is repulsive to me. It gives me a headache. It's horrible. And they couldn't understand it. They was like, why don't you want to go to the Hershey factory? And I'm like, don't eat chocolate. You guys are supposed to be my friends. It's yeah. So actually chocolate was given up for that reason. I could probably eat it in doses and small amounts, stuff like that, and be fine.
Okay, what about olives though? Why you don't like olives?
I just don't like them.
What kind of olives have you tried? I think you've tried the wrong olives. That's the problem. Because not olives are the same. There are some nasty ones out there. That's the problem.
Yeah. I don't know. They come in a jar. Come from the grocery store. When I was young, my mom loves olives. I mean, she would take a jar and just sit and eat them, and she would find all kinds of them. She would have the black ones, the green ones, the ones with the little pimento or whatever it is in the middle, even, and any kind. And she couldn't understand, why don't you like them? Because she knew I ate everything, and it was like instant gag reflex. As soon as I would start to eat one, it was like a tear come out my eye, and it was just this. Yeah, it's like, I can't deal with this. It's just this. Yeah, it's a flavor I don't like.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, hey, maybe there's some out there that I could. I know John Coleman gives me a hard time about not liking olives, and he's like, you just need to start eating them, and if you just start eating them, you'll find you'll like them. What kind of sense does that make?
It depends. There are some bad ones. Like while I was in Cyprus, I never had any bad olives, or in Greece. But when I moved to the UK and was buying olives from there are some nasty ones. So you have to find the good ones. Kalamata olives are so good. Kalamata olives are the best. They're black, and the shape is, they're not round. They're a bit pointy at the sides, and you have to get the ones with the stone because these are more flavorsome. Yeah.
Okay, so they're kind of egg shaped.
Yes, more pointy at the edges though.
Okay.
They're black, yeah, and usually they're in a jar with a vinegar water.
Okay. I might try them.
If you buy them, you should buy the Greek ones. Like buy the Greek brand.
The Greek brand, okay.
Yes, because Kalamata is placed in Greece, so that's why they're called Kalamata olives, because they grow there.
Okay. Now my wife likes them, and sometimes that can become a thing because I can eat them, but they have to be buried. It's like a hot dog. I can eat one, but it has to be buried under so much stuff that I don't taste it. So like if we get like a pizza, it has to have so many other things on it that I don't notice the olives are there. Otherwise, I'm sitting there picking them all off.
This is not going to work with the ones with the stone inside, because you have to know that you're eating the olive so that you can take off the stone. Otherwise, you might break a teeth.
Yeah, don't do that. I don't want to do that. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I might get brave and try them again if I find like the brand you're telling me to. I would trust you on that one, because, well, just like with tofu, okay, I'm done with it. I'm done with it. But if I ever got to meet you, I would trust you to make me tofu, and I would try it again. But other than that, I'm done with it. So I'll trust you with the olives.
It's weird as well with tofu, because I didn't know tofu before going vegan as well. And once I tasted it, it was like, I was thinking, what is the big deal about tofu? This is tasteless. It's nothing. Yeah. But the thing is, first of all, there are several types of tofu and there are several brands. So you have to, first of all, press all the water out if it's not pressed already, and then marinate it, because if it's not marinated, it doesn't have any taste. Now, the texture, it's a bit of a thing, because if you get already pressed tofu, the texture is completely different. Like here in Germany, I found a smoked tofu, which is incredible. I love it. I really like it. The texture is completely different. Yes, but so in the UK, I found a brand, I liked it, and this is what I was getting, yes? When I moved here, I realized that this is not tofu. Tofu, it's different between brands, and there are several types as well. So I had to try things that I didn't like again and see which one I enjoy. And yeah, so I find tofu that I didn't like either. And I was like, what the fuck? Why? I like tofu, I don't like this. But yeah, it depends on several things, like how pressed it is, the brand, and yeah. Not that I'm a tofu expert, but yes.
You know a lot more than I do, so in my eyes you are, because you know a lot more than I do. Then that's the thing with me. I have found that I've had it a few times. If you do marinate it, especially in something that has plenty of flavor in it, it does pick up that flavor well. It's a texture thing with me. It was just it just seems so not good.
Another thing with the texture, one thing that you can do, and I saw people doing it, I tried it, is you take the pack of tofu, a firm tofu, and then you freeze it. You remove it from the freezer, you let it thaw, and then you squeeze it, and it's like a sponge. So you see all the water getting out, and then you marinate it. So the texture changes a lot by doing this process, but it's a long-winded process. So yeah, it's not something that I do all the time. I did it a couple of times, but now that I find the smoked tofu, I'm like, I'm buying only this.
I know I enjoyed your little thing where your journey through like Berlin looking for different, vegan things. And I honestly, I got to admit, I enjoyed reading those because, especially if, Well, of course, it's always a little more funny when you find something that you don't like. You're like, nope, ain't buying that again. It's like,
You know what? The other day, I went to the supermarket. I went to another supermarket, not the one I'm going usually, and I saw a pack of salami. The regular salami. And I used to love salami as a child, and it was a small pack, and it was vegan. So I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna buy it and give it a go. Maybe it's good. And I come home, I cut the pack, and it seemed like vegan pate, like liver pate. I was like, this is not what I had in mind. Because I don't speak German, and I was like, okay, this look like salami. It says vegan on it, so I'm gonna buy it. I'm not gonna try and translate it. So it was something else.
Oh no. Yeah, that would be hard. Do you think there's anything that will not be able to be converted over to to vegan? Do you think there's anything that it might not be able to make that transition?
You mean a food to convert it to make it vegan?
Yeah.
Like the barbecue that my dad makes, I cannot see any way to make it vegan. For example. That's what, There are vegan steaks, but I was never a fan of steak, so I never had one as a vegan. But in regards to meat alternatives, there are, the brands out there are too many now, and the competition is high, and everyone is trying to make it better and better. Like there is a brand, it's called like this, I think is a UK brand. So they make bacon, they make chicken, vegan chicken, and all these. When I tried their chicken the first time, I thought I was eating chicken. It was so the texture was crazy the same. I was eating it and I was feeling bad. I was thinking I'm eating chicken. And then I tried their bacon as well. So I couldn't finish my meal that day, but later on I bought it again and I tried it again and it was fine. So it's everything in our head, I think. I tried their bacon, and the crazy part is when I cooked the bacon, it was smelling like bacon. I don't know how they do it, but it was shocking. The house was smelling bacon.
Wow. See, and that would worry me, because to me that seems like there was something processed in there to make that smell. To me, that would be a concern of what are they putting in it to achieve these things. That's the thing.
You have to be careful with these foods. It's not something that I eat every day. It's not like you eat bacon anyway every day. You shouldn't if you are.
No.
Well, that's the thing. So it's not something that anyone should eat every day, because its process is not good for you. So
that is, and even with how much meat I eat, there's certain things I realize you can't live on ribeye every day. You can't eat burgers every day. I do have a problem with chicken, because everybody asks me what's my favorite meat, and often I say chicken, and it shocks people, but that is one of my favorites. And that at least it's healthier than a lot of beef and pork based products, but I do eat a lot of it. It's
leaner,
Yeah, it is. I am curious. You brought up a little while ago, you said meat and fish. I know there are several, areas in Europe and different places, and then in the category of vegetarian and vegans and not so much the vegans, but they don't consider fish a meat. I don't get that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I think for me, I think meat is meat and fish is fish.
To me, a fish is a critter, just like a cow's a critter. It lived, it died, it had skin, it had bones. You have to peel it. You take meat off bones, so to me, it's meat.
Yeah. It's another type of meat, basically. Yeah.
I can't remember who it was I got into it on FoodTribe with, and I'm like, it's meat. It's just a different form of it. And there's like, no.
Yeah.
And they counted it as was it the vegetable or the plants of the sea or something like
What?
that. And I thought, yeah, I was like, how's that work? You know, it and so there's been a lot of things I have, I ain't gonna lie.
I never heard of that.
know.
There are vegetables in the sea. There are plants in the sea.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And, and I am learning this as I go. I didn't know anything. I thought vegan and vegetarian was the same thing for the longest time until I got
No.
yelled at a few times. And I was like, okay, it's different. Don't.
Yes,
don't.
I realized that Ramon, I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly, that he didn't know either, and he was posting eggs and all sorts of things in the vegan tribe. I was like, this is not vegan. And then I was thinking, why is he posting? And then I watched this podcast that you did with him, and he said he didn't know the difference until someone told him. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's just a lot of us, we don't know. And
yes, I didn't know either. Yeah, it's true. Like there are pescatarians, there are all sorts of things. So yeah.
Yeah, I seen somebody had posted a list of the different categories, I guess, on
Flexitarians.
Yes, and it was like, really? There's that many?
Either you do.
Oh God, that's been probably 6 months. Well, hey, on FoodTribe, something 6 days ago seems like forever ago. This has been several months ago though, and I was reading it, and there was like 10 or 12 different categories, and I thought,
oh my God, so many.
Really? Yeah, I thought either you do or you don't. I thought it was very kind of cut and dry.
I suppose maybe like gluten-free as well, and yeah.
Well, I think it's like a lot of things. People try to tailor it to them. Maybe like Ramon, he can't have meat, but he can eat eggs and cheese. That's fine. That are normal animal based, and that's fine. He just can't literally eat the meat part.
Yeah.
So he's in that weird category, of that. Now, I back to FoodTribe though, real quick. For the longest time, you was really the only vegan in vegan tribe. I mean, I ain't gonna lie.
I know. I'm happy to see more posts now.
Yeah, because I thought about encouraging you to do a top 5, and I thought, well, who better to do it than you for the vegan
It was
tribe.
only my post.
Yeah, I went through it. It was like you and occasionally Ray Smith. That was it. And it's like, okay, that's not enough to matter.
I'm gonna rate myself.
Yeah, it's just Natalie's top 5, It's like, and I thought, but now you got here's another name.
Is Adam and oh my God, Adam and oh God, how can I forget your name? Oh
Trust me, I do it. I do it all the time.
I had it in my head now. Okay, it doesn't matter. I know her, but yeah.
Okay.
Her husband is out anyway.
They're posting, and they seem to be, true vegan as well. And a lot of their recipes are going over there. That is a very small tribe over there. It's you guys are very, in there. And that's why I encourage you,
Susie and Adam, sorry. The name
No,
came.
it's fine. It's fine. I've done that before. I've either forgot someone's name or I forgot where they're from. A couple podcasts ago, I had was it Felipa? I thought she was in the Philippines. It didn't hit me. I was like, no, she's not. She's in Portugal. Oh no, she's gonna hate me now.
Completely different.
Yeah, it's like you couldn't get much further away. I mean, really, you couldn't. But hey, people, when you get in front of a camera and you're trying to remember stuff and talk to people, and your nerves are going, and it's amazing how your brain plays tricks on you. And forget people's names. I have done it all. So, but it is nice to see that there is a bigger influx of people posting to the vegan tribe, because there was a time there where I was concerned they might actually do away with it because there was no one really using it. And then you came along. Yeah. In fact, one of the people who used to post there, I don't think is even on FoodTribe anymore. Oh, I'm having one of the moments. I'm forgetting her name now. There was a lady there, and she used to post off and on there, but it wasn't getting a lot of traffic. And then, like I said, Ray Smith, he does occasionally, but not very often. And then you came along and kind of brought life back, even though you're the only one there. So
it's funny, because I was posting all my pictures on my personal Instagram because I was cooking all the time. I was taking pictures. People were going crazy. I was driving people crazy with my food all the time. So my husband was like, "Oh, I found an application for you, which is only for food. So it's like Instagram for food." It's like, come on, get the application, download the application and leave us alone on Instagram. So he was on it as well at the beginning. Yes, so basically I started posting because, I was driving people crazy on Instagram. So I found a food community.
Okay, well, that takes care of one of the questions, because one of the questions FoodTribers was wanting me to ask was, how did you find FoodTribe?
Yeah.
So they want
behind
your to get you off Instagram. Okay. Hey, and we're glad you're here on FoodTribe with us. You're a great addition. You're very friendly. You fit with the rest of the people that are there. Being very just outgoing and friendly, helpful for those of us who have questions and don't know what we're talking about sometimes. And obviously very patient. I can speak from experience with that one. I've come to you many times going, okay, I want to try this, but I don't know if it's right, or like the vegan burger and the tofu experience and different things. And you are very patient for those of us who are maybe not as educated in areas.
I'm very passionate about it. So if you ask me something and I can help, I'm gonna be like, sometimes I'm over excited and I might share more information. So yeah.
No, it's fine. To me, that was great. One of my pet peeves is when you go to somebody and you ask them something and then they don't tell you enough to really know anything. And you're like, okay, that just confused me more, So I always appreciate a little more information than not enough. That's always fun. I am glad though, move subject real quick. We'll come back because there's something I want to, anyway, that you are posting like your burgers on FoodTribe. Although when I voted you #1, that did cause a little wave in the pond.
I was thinking, what is happening? Like I saw it and I went in. I don't have the notifications on for any application except from emails because I cannot be disturbed all the time. So I went in and I was like, what is happening? So many notifications. Like I never had this before. I was reading and I was like, oh my God, why? Yeah. And I'm not the person who's gonna argue and fight and no.
It ain't worth it.
Yes, but Janine replied really nicely, and she covered me. She covered all aspects. I was reading her message, her comment, and I was like, yes.
Yeah, and minus the wave in the pond, I'll just leave it at that. I was kind of glad to see everybody was very supportive of it, which that's just FoodTribe nature, though. I've been in there over a year, and that's the reason. Well, I'm still there. It's just the nature of the people. They're so supportive and happy for things, and so I was glad because I was afraid. I thought, look, I don't see a reason why like your burgers and stuff shouldn't be allowed over there. It should be, and they look so good. And I'm like, look. Okay, it might be a plant-based burger. I get that. I do. But the ones you have posted, I was like, they look amazing. They really do. It's like, I would eat that. Well, I'd at least take a couple bites out of it anyway. I might eat the whole thing,